Bah écoute, comme tu dis, la moutarde était moins forte
que d'habitude.
How did we get here?
Technology is advancing at a phenomenal rate. Artificial eyes to cybernetic limbs.
The promise of a better future.
We now have the choice to free ourselves from any kind of limitation.
Strength, power, speed. Now I focus on what really matters.
Have these augmentations really been
There are people
tested?
who say that what is happening is unnatural, that we're playing God. But people were scared of electricity. And where would the world be without
What
that?
happens if this technology falls into the wrong hands?
Diseases or viruses that could wipe out the human race.
Scenes of terror are being witnessed worldwide.
What kind of madness has gripped the mechanically augmented people? 9 million deaths confirmed and counting.
This is an attack on humanity and the universal values that we share.
These people were hacked. They had no control.
What is the appropriate response? And can we actually protect ourselves from this happening again?
I have no idea what happened. I would never.
You tried to kill me.
At what point will governments consider the idea of segregation for all our sakes?
We can be politically correct, or we can be foolish, but it's gonna get worse and worse.
The Czech Republic adds its voice to a growing list of countries calling for the relocation of its augmented citizens.
No
Reports of severe shortages of the drug neurophazine required to inhibit the rejection of augmentations.
And we will fight for our God-given rights to defend our will.
In a sign of growing anti-augmentation sentiment, thousands march.
It doesn't matter how many idiots you get out there on the street. We will not relinquish our limbs. Do you understand?
What is happening on this planet is a mass fear-mongering, and the mainstream media pushing this narrative.
The officer suffered severe facial
Incident after incident after
You need
incident.
to be afraid, because they are coming for you.
We will not be made slaves to corporations. We will rise up.
To them, we are the enemy.
Have you seen what your kind are doing?
My kind? You sound just like them.
We've come to a tipping point.
I can't live like this anymore.
This violence is completely out of control.
The world is being paved for this corporate militant
What do they have planned for us? Why are they building concentration camps? What's going on out there?
reports of multiple fatalities. There's only one way to deal with these bloodthirsty fanatics.
A lot of people die. Now you want to take away our freedom? You will pay for it in blood.
Multiple detonations looks like car bombs.
The Augmented Rights Coalition denies responsibility.
The Segregation Act has been passed into law, effective immediately.
Augmented persons are being asked to move to safe and secure segregated districts.
I don't want them to take me.
We are still your neighbors, your brothers, your sisters, your lovers. We lost everything. Our dreams, our innocence. Where are you taking her? Where are you taking her? Our humanity.
Hey everyone, welcome to our very first Deus Ex Mankind Divided segment at Square Enix Presents. I'm Sacha, I'm the community manager at Eidos Montreal on Deus Ex, and I am joined by Jean-François Dugas, our executive game director, and Jonathan Jacques Beltet, our executive art director.
Bonjour.
How are you guys doing?
Great, you?
Good.
I'm good, I'm good. So we have some new gameplay to show you today. Before we jump in, what you've just seen before we came on is our live action trailer, which we released a few weeks ago. Can you guys tell us a bit about the state of the world in Mankind Divided?
Well, we're 2 years after the events of Human Revolution.
2029.
2029, indeed. And at the end of the last game, actually, there was a big event where Augmented Citizen went into, like John calls it, the zombie mode.
Mechanical zombies.
Mechanical zombies. And there were a lot of killing, a lot of accidents, a lot of people dying. We're talking about millions. And now we're 2 years after those events, where society is trying to recover from that big tragedy. And now you see in the world, in different places, not everywhere, but in a lot of places, a lot of segregational laws, plenty of measures that will put people into ghettos, or like their life will be miserable, etc. And Adam Jensen has to evolve in that world. He works now for Task Force 29, which is a subdivision of Interpol, and it's an anti-terrorist faction. And he's trying to bring some peace to that chaotic world now, 2 years after of the things that he couldn't totally prevent himself. And also at the same time, he has a double agenda. He's trying to get at the people in the shadows, the people who are manipulating society, and he believes that through Task Force 29 he can achieve his goal. So that's the kind of setting, and that's the kind of the basic motivation for Adam Jensen being back in this world.
Cool. So let's jump in the gameplay video. Every day on Square Enix Presents we are going to show you a different play style. Today we are going to go for aggressive stealth.
Aggressive stealth.
So as we were saying, what you're going to see here is some gameplay from Dubai. Can you tell us about the mission Adam is going for here?
You've got a UC in
That's
there.
aggressive
Might be
conversation.
easier to maintain his cover if he's not the only one still breathing when this is done.
Well, it's the first map of the game. It's Dubai. Like we just said with the setting, we wanted to start a new game, like bridging the gap with the last game.
With Human Revolution.
Yes, with Human Revolution, in the sense that the last one was kind of the golden age of augmentations. It was very positive, and like a lot of the possibilities that were portrayed or explored in that game. And now in this world of Mankind Divided, like the dream has gone south. Like the dream is over, and Dubai.
The indulgement is over. Like people are not kind of tripping as much as they used to.
Exactly.
The party's over. The party's as I like to say.
Yeah.
The keg has been sucked dry.
and the map of Dubai, like it's very fairly black and gold, but now it's the sunset, and when Jensen is going, in a few minutes, is going to jump for his mission.
He's going to pretend he's Icarus.
Yeah, he's going to fall symbolically into the sea, like it's the end of the Icarus myth that was so present in the last game.
The whole Dubai map, visually speaking and thematically speaking, in big parts, is like we're using it as a transition between Human Revolution, right, and Mankind Divided. It's like this is most probably one of the most kind of black and gold, map you're going to see in the game.
Yeah.
It's it really takes you from what you knew in Human Revolution and slowly takes your hand and brings you in the world of Mankind Divided. The end of the dream, the end of this huge kind of golden era.
Yeah, and actually, this first mission, like where we're trying to stop a smuggling deal, is happening in a hotel that was under construction 2 years ago by augmented workers. And now you get there, it's totally abandoned. There are still some remains of that catastrophe.
Yeah, even that is a symbology, right? The
exactly.
fact that these augmented people who were the only ones who could build such great architectural feats or whatnot are now there and they're dead and they're left there, and they probably went even crazy from the Panchea.
Absolutely.
I knew a few of them, and they.
So yeah, it was really important to bridge that gap. And Dubai also, it's the first map of the game, so we're trying to give you a little bit more context in terms of how to play with the controls, the feature set, basically all the tutorials you need to after that to be unleashed in the rest of the game that is much more open than the first map.
You still have all your multi-path, and you can approach it the way you want, but it is a little more
linear.
I don't want to say constrained.
Linear.
Yeah, you want to say that? In a way.
Well, it's not linear, but it is.
Yeah, it's not linear, but it is.
So now what we're seeing is that Adam Jensen is using a lot of his tool to remain stealthy, but at the same time he's very active.
He's not killing any of these people right now.
But he's moving forward. It's taking them down. We've seen the Tesla gun arm, which is a new augmentation that Jensen has that allows you to disable up to 4 enemies at once.
Really?
But again, like you said, non-lethally. They're not dead. They're just sleeping for a while.
Now, why isn't he using both his hands and like take down like 8 people at the same time?
That's a very good question.
Yes, he's probably holding his gun in the other one. That's why.
Actually, a system wouldn't be able to take it.
Our system? Yeah. It would. It would.
Jensen's system.
Yeah, Jensen's system. That's what I thought you were saying.
And now we're seeing the use of the stun gun, and the stun gun is similar to the Tesla gun arm, but it's very like close range, and it shoots 1 bullet at a time. So it demands a different tactic.
Yeah, different approaches.
A different approach.
It's like the result is the same, but they don't behave the same way.
And also now we just saw the PEP's gun arm, which is another non-lethal weapon. And one thing that was important to us with Mankind Divided is we were trying to give a little bit more flexibility to the players in terms of killing or not killing versus stealth and non-stealth. In the last game, most of the weapons that were non-lethal were kind of built in such a way that you had kind of to play stealth to be very effective. This time around, what we wanted to do, we wanted to go like, maybe I want to go non-lethally, but I still want to fight or be more aggressive, and we wanted to allow that more naturally, and the gun arms come into...
Have a better flow between all these things.
Yeah. So we have some weaponry or some tools that are efficient, even in combat, not just like in a very stealth, step-by-step kind of.
Yeah, the whole thing, I think that's what you said, the whole thing feels a lot more natural.
Yeah.
How you use all these, how you go back and forth between your lethal, non-lethal, if you're playing stealth or not. Everything is a lot more holistic as a whole.
Yeah. Hacking's back. It's very similar to what was in Human Revolution, but we kind of beefed it up a bit for this game. Now the security systems have booby traps. It can be much more like, or less forgiving, should I say, and the player's going to have more softwares to play with to be able to circumvent the challenges. The thing is that it's not going to be as easy as it was in the last game. You'll have to be a little bit more tactical and use more your softwares to be successful.
Yeah.
Access granted.
And bam, we're successful because Sasha is a good player.
This one was kind of easy, to be honest.
Yeah, to be honest.
Took me 15 tries to do it. What do you mean it's easy? That's insulting.
So now Jensen is getting to the weapon deal area. The rest of the team is already in position to...
Did he just drop his gun there?
No, he just broke
kicked a rock or something.
the panel of the elevator or something, or the door.
Yeah,
not the elevator, the door. And he just threw it.
So where's the sandstorm now?
Somewhere in the horizon.
In the horizon.
It's coming, it's coming.
It's coming. So we're going to shorten for this presentation the cutscene, but what we're not going to see is that a third party came to interrupt the deal that we were supposed to interrupt ourselves, actually. And now the third party people, like the gold mask kind of mysterious spec ops, they're trying to fly and steal the chopper with the content, the material that was inside
the merchandise.
Yeah, and we have to stop it. And actually, like for the Sandstorm, it's a very good. Here, it's coming.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
But it might not come.
It might not come depending on how you play, because your boss Miller is telling you like we have to be quick, we have to be smart about it. The Sandstorm is going to come, and it might make things more complicated. So if you're really to the point, like you can manage to end the mission without any sandstorm, but if you get caught somewhere or you take your time, you might have to deal with the sandstorm. So now,
and does it have an impact on what these people are doing if the sandstorm
absolutely,
is there or not?
their accuracy is reduced, even yours, and you have to use more your augmentations to know where they are, like the smart vision we just saw here. And then also, depending if the sandstorm is there or not, the chopper might take off earlier or not. So there are many ways that this mission can end. And obviously the player, Sasha, has played this map very many times because he knew exactly what to do. And that's
Sasha
unfair for the
knows
new
what to do
players
anyway.
because you're spoiling one way to do that. So it kind of ruins the experience. Why are you doing that?
That's
but at least we're not showing the other ones.
Oh, we actually are showing the other ones, but we'll show them tomorrow and the day after.
So tomorrow, guys, total spoiler. we'll be done with spoiling it for you.
Yeah, so this video was aggressive stealth, as I was saying. Tomorrow we are going to show combat, and the day after that we'll show adaptive, so it's going to be a mix of stealth and a mix of combat. Now we have a few questions from fans we wanted to answer today.
Yeah.
So first up, will we be getting a more personal take on Adam this time around? For example, seeing how he feels about the events of the last game and this one, and how his attitude towards being augmented has evolved.
Well, there are two questions in there. The
Yeah.
first one, let's talk about Adam Jensen. Adam Jensen has evolved from being this guy, like this blue-collar guy in Human Revolution, where he was like working for Serif Industries,
Taking orders.
Yeah, and he was the kind of guy, like, we never said if he was for or against augmentations. It's just that it was not the plan in his life, probably at this period of time, to get into the.
I mean, he definitely
new
got
trend,
augmented against his will.
Yes.
But it doesn't mean that he was against or for them, or.
Exactly, and the last game was all about him, like coming to age with his augmentations, like trying to understand them, trying to accept who he became. And in this game now, like the sentence or the line we have in the trailer where it says we have to let go, I have to let go and embrace what I've become. It says that now he's taking charge. Like he assumes that he's a tool. He can. That he can be a powerful weapon, but he wants to use it for good, and he hopes that he can make a difference.
Yeah,
so
he even thinks that to do what he has to do, he's probably the only person who can do that, or at least only someone who's as weaponized as he is can do it. It's to that degree that he's realizing all these things.
And at this point, is like much more like comfortable with that, assuming who he is and moving forward.
He's probably even more comfortable. I've always personally kind of wanted to think that he's even more comfortable with his augmentations, physically speaking.
Yes.
You know, they probably don't hurt him as much anymore, or all that kind of. But that's me. But
that's your story.
There's not enough story in the Deus Ex. I need to invent some. There's only like 50 million lines.
And also, that's why, like with what you just said, that's very interesting. Like in Dubai. Player or Adam Jensen is going to start with his augmentations because what we wanted to give is the feel. It's the man 2.0. He's going with this team, and he has those advantages, and it was.
And he's the only one in the team who's augmented.
Exactly. So we wanted to make sure that players have them right at the start, and then something happens, and they are going to have to rebuild him. After that, to know.
Also known as the Metroid effect.
Exactly. Yeah. TM Jonathan.
Yes. The ME.
That's it. Yeah. And for the second part of the question, of course, Adam Jensen is going to encounter people in this world that are going to ask him questions about how he feels about certain things about himself or the themes of the world and things like that. I keep it vague just because I think we spoiled enough already. So
but even with that, there's a bit of a, like you like to say, Jeff, I've heard you say this a few times, he's a bit of a stranger in a strange land even. He's like, obviously for the people that are against augmentations or afraid of them, he's like this walking tank. And even when he's with the augmented people in the new world, he's in better shape than they are.
Exactly.
So even towards them, he's a bit like, you know...
he's an outcast.
He's an outcast. He's an outsider, yeah.
So will we see more of the...
It was our moment.
Yeah, we have those things.
Yeah. So next question is, will we see more of the Illuminati in Mankind Divided compared to...
The Illuminati.
No, I heard. Okay. Continue, Sasha.
Compared to Human Revolution, will we see a bit more of them in Mankind Divided?
Well, they're part of the world. They're part of the big conspiracy going on.
They
are the people that Adam Jensen is chasing. So you can expect seeing few of them, I guess.
A few. There's a few.
So talking about different play styles,
those lights are strong.
In Mankind Divided, how did you try and balance people who are going to play stealth and people who are going to play combat and not kind of be biased towards one or another?
Well, I think if we do our job well, it's to let players actually, to make them feel that there's not a right way to play the game. It's just like there are many options, and obviously some are more combat-oriented, some are more stealth-oriented, or as a player you can try to go into the middle of the fray being stealthy or vice versa. Anyway, the point being is we're always building the maps and the challenges with that in mind. We know that the game, it's combat and stealth. It's not one mission is combat, the other is stealth. It's all of that at once. So when we build the maps, like I was saying, we're playing, and we're like sometimes like challenging. Well, where's the stealth path, or is it obvious enough or not, or it's too much of this, too much of that.
It's a big chunk of what level design on this game is figuring all these things out.
Yeah, so we're iterating until it feels right. And another thing also that we're doing with Mankind Divided is we changed like how you get XP. In the last game in Human Revolution, we were giving more XP for.
We were a little biased before.
For stealth.
For stealth.
Yeah, and less for combat. And the logic we had back in the day, which was totally faulty, is that we thought, well, it demands more time, more energy, more skills to be.
We thought like stealth kind of needed a bit more involvement from the players.
Yeah.
And then we're like, let's just put more
XP to that.
XP, yeah.
Yeah, but what it created is that players ended up thinking that it was the right way to play, and it was not our intention at all.
No, because then you start playing artificially, which is exactly what we don't like on this game. It's like people would start artificially to push stealth to get the more XP, which is, and it's weird that we did this because it so counters our basic, our foundational philosophies for a game like that. Like nothing should be artificial, right? It's like you shouldn't even know what the rewards are, because then it's like, oh yeah, of course you're gonna take the path that has the gigantic nuke shooting bazooka, right? Because that's what you want, right? But yeah.
And in this one, what we did is that we rebalanced the XP distribution between stealth and combat. It's just that if you play combat, you'll get XP all the way through, like by little chunks.
The distribution is the system of distribution is different.
But it's even in
but
terms
the layering is even. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And for the stealth, we need to know when the player's finished with the
Yeah,
map.
yeah,
To know if he was stealthy or
it's
not.
like if you stealth, it's like you'll get a treasure.
Yeah.
Right. And if you combat, there'll be more like the breadcrumbs.
Exactly.
But the amounts are pretty much the same.
That's it.
Yeah.
Cool. So that's all the time we have for you guys today. I will see you tomorrow. We'll talk a bit more about Breach, which is our new game mode, and answer some of your other questions. We have a last video to show you. Enjoy E3.
Thank you.
That's a new one.
We are human beings. Each and every one of us. This must not go on. This injustice must end.
An increase in the number of terrorist attacks highlights the danger posed by augmented citizens.
I once thought I could save the world. Now look at it.
Help me!
Sometimes, you just have to let go and embrace what you've become. They've worked from the shadows for years, shaping the future, manipulating lives, controlling information. Innocents have died as they play their game.
We will not sit idly by and allow our rights to be eroded out of fear and ignorance any longer. We will not be herded into ghettos and treated as outcasts. We will stop at nothing.
The world is different now. The old rules no longer apply. So much pain. So many lies. Their darkness must end.
This should be your fight as well, brother. The promise of a golden age is over.
I won't let it happen again.